Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Balanced and Bougie. You're here today with me, Erica, to talk through another relationship question. Today, I've chosen to kind of take a moment to shine a light on male friendship. A few times as the podcast has been talking about friendship, building connections, meeting new people, we've had people reach out specifically in regards to male friendship and how it differs from female friendship typically, and how, there are differences in how they go about making friends, maintaining friends, building those relationships. And oftentimes I don't feel super comfortable speaking on that male experience of making friends and of the different trials and issues they face in maintaining those friendships. But today I decided that I would choose a question from a man about trying to make friendships as he's a young adult. He's no longer in college, trying to seek a group where he feels welcome. Even though I will be approaching this as a woman who probably doesn't get everything he's talking about, I at least thought it would be a really great place to start the conversation about what I think would be appropriate, but then, our male listeners can kind of let me know, like, hey, here are some of the other things to consider. Here's some advice from myself, and kind of start building that communication around male friendships, because, there is a male loneliness epidemic, and just as women need friendships, men need friendships too. And I am speaking as somebody who's friends with several men. I have a friend group who are, both men and women. And I think a lot of those interactions and the way that these relationships have been fostered are through similar means. So I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with a female perspective, but I do just want to caveat, like, I'm a girl, I don't know. I don't know what boys are facing. I don't know what differences they're feeling, and I'm just gonna try my best. And hopefully we can have a really good conversation today, and maybe we could come up with some more healthy ways for males to make friends. All right, so here is the question. I, 23-year-old male, have always had a pretty small friend group. I know a lot of people, but it's from when I was more social in college and I didn't actually hang out with them. I struggle to see my 4 closest friends. One in one state, one 12 hours away, one in grad school meeting new groups of people, and one who has a child he needs to focus on. We play games online sometimes, mostly with my buddy from Chicago, but that's become kind of mundane. Other than that, I don't really see anyone and don't make plans. I don't really drink or smoke, so the idea of going to bars and clubs to socialize is just to me. And there's no shot I'm going alone. To help with the lonely days and nights, I usually ask a girl from Hinge to go get ice cream or food, and that helps to at least talk to someone, but it doesn't fill the desire to have meaningful friendships and connections. I just moved into an apartment on my own as well, so I'm really isolated most of the time. My main hobbies are producing music, going to the gym, and photography. I just don't see myself putting myself out there, and I feel kind of stuck to find a new solid group of people I can really connect with. A lot of the time, if I meet people, we can talk and be cool, but I just end up pushing them away or not reaching out again because I've built up such a rep for myself. This comes from when I was posted on a Facebook "Are We Dating the Same Guy" page, and I was really ripped apart for my past actions, like using social media to cheat on past partners and being narcissistic, which has completely made me nervous to talk to anyone around where I live or go out too much in public. Although this is on me because I dug my own grave with that. Upsetting to be in this spot after being used to seeing my close friends for so long, and now not really having any social activity. First, I think it's really brave to put yourself out there. I think it's brave that you've asked this question, and I appreciate your candor and honesty with the past mistakes you've made. I kind of, however, think I'm seeing like another two-veined problem here. You're both struggling with the desire to make new connections, build a group of people you can have relationships with, rely on, see, socialize with regularly, and you're also dealing with some anxiety due to your past behaviors and how those are impacting how people view you. Firstly, I would really take a moment to think about this "Are We Dating the Same Guy" Facebook incident. It's kind of a big deal, right? You cheated on a partner. It got public. Whether it was public for something that happened a long time ago or something that happened recently, it's still icky. And people often aren't going to want to associate themselves with you or with somebody who has made those kind of mistakes. Straight men may not want to be associated because they don't want women to think they're okay with cheating. because they want those women to date them, right? And then women may not be comfortable being friends with you or dating you because they think, oh, this person has a history of cheating. We cannot change the past. This is something that was already done. The only thing you can do now is move forward. Your current actions are what's really going to show people who you are now. I think the best way to deal with it is assume most people aren't going to even know. I mean, that is what I would do, especially if you don't live in the same place. Granted, based on your post, I'm assuming you might live in the community where you cheated on a partner. But I would not go into every interaction I'm having assuming they know this about me. I would try to just keep that from my mind. But when it comes up, if somebody is going to confront you and say, hey, did you do this? Is this you? Like, I heard this about you. I would go ahead and confront it head on. And I would say, yeah, I was making really poor decisions at that time in my life. I've since learned that it hurts people. It hurt myself. It hurt my partner. And it didn't show any of us the respect we deserve. And I don't like who I was at that time in my life. And I'm taking steps. I have taken steps and I'm still taking steps to ensure that I don't ever fall into those patterns again. I think it's important to not hide from mistakes we've made in our past because every single one of us has done something wrong and no one can look back at everything they've ever done and know that they were perfect, especially seeing that you're only 23 years old. There aren't going to be a lot of people who don't have something that is embarrassing or upsetting going on. Additionally, as you get older, you will learn that even further, like that everybody has something going on and people often don't end up caring. Like, I live in a small town. There is lots of rumors about other people and things that they have done, and it doesn't really seem to impact their life too much as long as they're not continuing to repeat it. So, while I do see why this is affecting you, and I don't want to minimize your problem with this "are we dating the same guy" Facebook issue, I definitely don't think you should be letting it stop you from going out and meeting people and interacting with people because chances are they have no idea this happened. And if you start building a friendship before they find out and they ask you about it, then hopefully you will have shown them your true colors enough to be like, yeah, that was a part of my past and it's something I'm not proud of. And they will still be willing to have a relationship with you going forward. Unfortunately, not everyone is going to like us and we can't make everyone okay with everything we've done. And I wouldn't even try to make them okay with it. I would just try to make them aware of who you are now and okay with who you are now. But that's kind of that side of things. Next is, the making of new friends. And that is such an intimidating thing. I think especially, for men. A lot of men who were in school, when you were in high school and in college, you could have been in sports or clubs or things where you were kind of like seeing people every day and that fostered that friendship for you. And as a woman, I experienced that too. When you're in high school, you see the same people every single day. You have, a relationship to like fall back on, experiences together, embarrassing things, scary things, exciting things that you remember happening together with this person. And when you're meeting new people, you're starting from scratch. And a lot of times you're just not having the amount of incidental meetings with them to compare to what you were experiencing in high school and college. And I think that's really scary for many young adults. What I think is your big strong suit here, though, is your hobbies are such a beautiful way for you to make friends. You listed that you like producing music, you like going to the gym, and photography. All of those things can be social activities. When you're an adult, you will start to learn that you don't just have to have friends who are in the exact same place in life as you. You're a 23-year-old man, but I would really suggest that you join a photography club or a photography class or a group or really any of those things. Even if you feel like your skills are above the class, I would still put yourself out there because in that class, you're going to meet a group of humans who are from all different life experiences, different ages, people who you never would have come across, when you were in school. And that this is a really beautiful place to find different kinds of friendships and connections through the shared interest in photography. And chances are, once you find that one shared interest, you're going to find others. And that is a really great jumping off point for you. When it comes to the gym, I know that my male friends have told me the gym can be a really weird place to meet people because especially, you don't want to meet a woman there because you don't want to hit on her or make her uncomfortable. And I have been told that many men feel as though when they're just casually speaking to, especially a woman at the gym, they feel like it's going to be interpreted the wrong way. And I can totally see that. And since I have no experience with that, I'm going to be like, do what you got to do at the gym to be like, to not feel like you're going to be in any weird scenario. What I would encourage you to indulge in is like, at the gym, what do you like? Do you like running? Do you like weightlifting? Do you like sports? What is it at the gym you like doing? Because chances are, again, there's going to be some sort of community outreach program, or there's going to be some sort of club. One great place to check to see, is through your gym. Are there any, pickup basketball games, volleyball games? Is there group fitness that you're interested in, whether that be cycling or group strength, or even like, there are small group personal training groups, which are really, really cool. And a lot of times I see those groups being a lot more physically intense. So if you already have like a really intense workout regimen, this might be an area that actually helps you with your fitness, but also supports you in meeting new people and making new friends. Another area that often does these like group outdoor exercise classes, or maybe not even classes, but like get-togethers, is like your local library. I know that my local library has a running club that meets every Wednesday, and they meet up one spot in town and they go run for a couple miles. And there are people of all abilities, so I think the group ends up being pretty spread out, but some people are really, really avid runners who just want to run with someone to talk to, and some people are more on the slow jog side of things. But it still gives people a place where, at least at the beginning and the end, they're going to be able to meet with people who have a similar interest in that side of fitness and are also in the community that they live in. So therefore, you would have more access to seeing them, like getting a cup of coffee the next day. Or if you wanted to meet up for dinner or meet up at the bar, these would be like your realistic places to go. Additionally, you mentioned producing music. I think that the creative sphere is one of the best places to make friends. I'd really look into that. I would stay active online. I would definitely, use my Instagram to be connecting with other people who have similar interests while sharing your own art. You can kind of build an online community. Well, that's definitely not going to be people who you're probably seeing in your community every day. I still feel like those relationships are fulfilling in many capacities, and who knows, where they will go. I think what is really important here is just to take a look at the things that you like and the things you would really enjoy bonding with others over, and try to put yourself in those positions where you might be meeting people. I would try also to like temper your expectations when you first go to these things. You might feel embarrassed or awkward to show up to a group for the first time by yourself, but everyone was a beginner at that class or in that club for the first time they went. And nobody is judging you for coming to that class. They are all already there. They want to be there. They want people to be attending. Nobody likes it when their club is only 2 people. They want people to show up. It's exciting, and it kind of validates the thing they're interested in. What we're looking for in these adult friendships is some sort of mutual interest or mutual experience to bond over, because we no longer have the backup of just seeing them every day till we find one. We have to start going to things where we assume that the chances that we have that common interest are higher. But the other side of things that I have noticed that men often seem to struggle with more is that maintaining communication. And I think it's great that you're playing video games with your friends online still, because I really think that we need to start acknowledging that when men, or women, but I'm talking to men right now, when men are playing video games online with their friends, like they're meeting up and you can talk to each other through the headsets, you are talking on the phone. Like, you're having a 2-hour conversation on the phone with your friend. And women do this all the time. We often call our friends while we're doing the dishes, or call our friends while we're doing our nails, or, other things. These are the same things. They're so important for maintaining and building those friendships. If the game you're playing is getting stale, you should switch it up to where every Christmas or birthday, what you guys do is you invest in a game you can play together, a new one, and you try it out. Some friendships do fizzle out, so if that's what you mean by saying that the game is getting dull, then, that might just be par for the course, but I would still try to preserve that time, because while you're casually playing a video game and you're yelling about somebody shooting someone where and hiding in whatever spot, you also end up being like, well, what'd you do today? And you can be like, oh, well, my boss really ticked me off. Or you can say, well, I have to go get my mom a present because it's her birthday this weekend. And in those moments, that's where you're kind of, maintaining that friendship. In addition to that, though, it's really important to learn to be a little bit more vulnerable and try to remember, or even like set up a plan to remember, to reach out to your friends, to the people you're building friendships with. You don't have to be like, hey man, I love you. I hope you're having a great day. I mean, I think you should say that. I think it would be amazing if you could say that. But you could say something as simple as like, hey man, I tried this new pizza place the other day. I think you'd like it if you're ever in town. Or you have that friend who has a child. It would definitely, I'm sure he would really appreciate it if you reached out and said, how's the kid doing? How's fatherhood? What's it like? Anything that you guys had a connection over or makes you think of that other person, I think it's really beautiful when you can reach out to them. And I truly think that people like hearing that you're thinking of them. So even though it might not come naturally, I would say maybe like, hey, once a month, set an alarm on your phone where it's like, contact your friends and shoot them a message, whether it be about something that made you think of them, asking them something about their lives, or even just being like, hear this dumb thing that happened to me at the store the other day. Think of those as like, they're your bids for communication and connection, and your friends are going to respond when you message them. Just like if they were messaging you, you would respond to them. There is just definitely something in how men are socialized where it doesn't come as naturally to them to be reaching out to one another. So sometimes, you've got to be the one to get a little bit more vulnerable. Also, I guess my last thing that I really feel is important is where you were kind of like, I don't really drink or smoke, so I don't want to go out to bars or clubs. I think that's totally valid. I think there are a lot more young people who aren't drinking and aren't smoking and who are, not going out to the clubs as it may seem like when you're online. Many people choose not to drink. Many people find bars and clubs, all of that, to be overstimulating, overwhelming, and don't like it. I, for one, do. I do like it. I'm not going to lie. But I have many friends who don't drink at all. I have many friends who have a single beverage, and that doesn't in any way impact our friendship. You also, if you wanted to go to a bar with your friends, you don't have to drink. Like, you should tell your friends you plan on not drinking so they don't pressure you, but you do not have to drink if you enjoy, going dancing with your friends. But I don't think in any way that you need to be going to a bar or clubs. I think a lot of times the internet just paints this picture that that's what young people are doing all the time, especially, if you just got out of college. It can feel like that's all anyone does, but I promise you it is not. And as you get a little bit older, that will very quickly stop being the main point of entertainment for the people in your age group. No matter how you interpret what I had to say, I think the biggest thing here is to acknowledge that the first step was for you to really get honest with yourself and say, I want to make friends. I feel lonely. I need to make friends. I need help maintaining them. And I think now that you see that, you are going to see more opportunities to rectify that and promote your friendships. I would do what I could to hold on to the friends you already have, making sure you're still reaching out to them, even though you're not going to see them face to face, as well as, putting yourself out there, trying these new situations. I know it can be awkward, but it really will pay off. And once you get past that awkward phase, you might find that you really love these groups, or you really love, I don't know, maybe you'll end up trying something completely new and you'll be like, actually, I really got into decoupage. I don't know. That could be cool. It could be fun. You could make friends. I believe in you. And I really feel like you have a real chance to overcome the mistakes that you've made in your past and be, the kind of friend you'd want to be and the kind of partner that you would want to be. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you, and I hope that any men listening to this were not like, you have no idea what you're talking about, girl. But if you feel that way, that's okay. You can tell me. I'm willing to take the heat. I want all of us to have friends, whether we are boys or girls or anything else. I just want you to feel like you're not alone, because you're not alone, and you deserve friendship and companionship, and we could all do a little better maintaining our friends and do a little better with making new friends. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye!